Supertasters experience the sense of taste, especially bitter tastes, with a greater intensity than the average person. Studies conclude about 25% of people have super tasting abilities. Researchers believe it was developed thousands of years ago, as a way to avoid potentially poisonous plants, which are usually bitter tasting. Number 2. The gene for super flexibility. Those who are affected by Marfan syndrome have a mutation in the protein fibrillin 1, which affects the body's connective tissue, giving people with this mutation the ability to bend in all different directions. Some common signs of the disorder include long arms, legs, fingers, a curved spine, flat feet, and a tall thin body. People with the condition may also experience serious health complications affecting the heart, eyes, blood vessels, and bones. Number 3. The gene for super speed. Mutations in the gene ACTN3 are associated with the ability to run fast. ACTN3 produces the protein alpha-actinin 3, which is responsible for the fast-twitch muscle fibers that allow us to run. Research has indicated that people with higher than average levels of this protein may be able to outrun the majority of us. The ACTN3 gene is known as the sprinter gene, or speed gene. It is the gene that controls the fast-twitch muscle fibers that make us run. Research has shown that mutation in this gene could make one run like a superhero, who can move almost with the speed of light. Much research are currently going on about the subject. Scientists are exploring several ways through which the gene can be tweaked a little bit for the sake of athletes. Number 4. The gene for immunity to poison. To be immune to poison has always been a dream of many. Even in the olden days, people engaged in weird activities to gain that immunity. According to Roman history, Caesars often drink poison to gain immunity. The practice became prominent among Caesars since poisoning was the usual way of assassinating them. So, in order to be immune to poison and prevent assassination through it, Caesars had to adopt the habit of drinking the poison itself to gain that immunity. However, research have shown that some genes, when mutated, can actually make the body develop natural immunity to poisonous substances. For example, arsenic is a very toxic substance that even when ingested in small amount, could result to something very fatal. But for thousands of years, villagers of San Antonio de los Cabras in Argentina have been sipping mountain water laced with 80 times the safe level of arsenic, and surprisingly, they are still alive. Scientists actually wondered what could be the reason for their immunity. But after several studies, they got to realize that a gene called the AS3MT gene could be the savior of this villagers. It is a gene that allows the body to process arsenic rather than let it build to dangerous levels. So owners of these microscopic mutants gene can swallow as much of this substance as they want without any call for emergency. However, scientists are currently exploring ways to mutate this gene so it provides general immunity to poison. Number 5. The gene for resistance to fat. The inability to gain weight may sound like a dream come true to many people, but the reality of your body being resistant to fat is far from glamorous. MDP syndrome, which affects 8 people in the world, prevents fat from being stored under the skin. Instead, it gets deposited in the bloodstream, leading to diabetes and other health complications. A small number of people are born with rare genetic mutations that are responsible for everything from being super flexible to having super speed. Number 6. The gene for supervision. A condition called tetrachromacy allows people to see almost 100 million different colors. In comparison, the average human can only differentiate between about 1 million. This is caused by a mutation in the opsin gene, which is responsible for producing visual pigments for color vision. Number 7. The gene for unbreakable bones. The same gene mutation that can lead to osteoporosis, the condition that results in weak and brittle bones, can also result in the opposite effect, which is the unbreakable bones. Scientists are beginning to explore a particular gene known as the LRP5 gene. It is the gene responsible for bone mass and bone density. It is perhaps the gene that gives the bone its strength. Mutation in this gene could cause osteoporosis, lower bone density. However, scientists have also discovered that another form of mutation can also cause the bone to become resistant to fracture and being broken. Studies are going on how to mutate the gene in everybody so everyone becomes resistant to broken bones. Number 8. The gene for immunity to pain. Congenital insensitivity to pain is a rare condition in which a person can't feel pain, even if they break a bone, get burned, or experience any other type of injury. Congenital insensitivity to pain is caused by a mutation in the gene called the SCN11A. This mutation decreases the amount of sodium in the body's cells, which is key to alerting your brain of pain. Congenital insensitivity to pain affects fewer than 100 people worldwide. Much like people with unbreakable bones, people with the inability to feel pain can go through life without many physical problems. There's a rare genetic mutation known as congenital analgesia that allows people with it to not feel any pain. They can prick their finger on a needle or put their hand on a burning stove and not feel any discomfort whatsoever. While this mutation sounds like a great ability to have, it can be potentially life-threatening. While they may not suffer physical injuries, they can suffer internal injuries which they have no idea about. Those injuries can be deadly. In addition to that, they are susceptible to arthritis and other health problems. Those afflicted with arthritis don't feel pain, of course, but it can be difficult for them to move around with it. The bottom line is people with congenital analgesia aren't as healthy as one might believe them to be. Number 9. The gene for super strength. People who have a genetic mutation in the gene called MSTN will pack on muscle quickly. MSTN's job is to produce myostatin, a protein that tells the body to stop creating muscle when there's already enough. Those who have this mutation typically have at least double the amount of muscle than the average human. The human body is an extraordinary piece of biological machinery that